Time to crack open the sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Bulldog, I guess we should send it right over to the F1 desk for a preview of this weekend's race from Austin. Taco Bob with the F1 report.
Hello, Taco Bob checking in with your F1 report. What is this? It rhymes with Rax. Who's going to win? You know it, Max Verstappen.
Thank you. That has been this week's F1 desk update.
By the way, real quick, I was listening to you guys' podcast yesterday, and Taco Bob's alarm system when he gets up in the morning is like baffling to me.
Yeah, I've been baffled for 20 some odd years with it, Bulldog. So come on in, the water's fine.
Bulldog, my, you guys would both love this. We're talking about how I hit the snooze a lot, and my poor wife, who has to hear it. This morning, I hit it at 3:35, so it was 3:35 and 3:36 it went off. Then 45 and 46 they both went off. Then 55 and 56. I've had to go, oh my God, I got to get out of here.
So that's two alarms. One goes off 1 minute after the other. It's baffling to me.
It's beautiful. You ought to try it.
Do you want to knock out the rest of the non-football related sports here real quick before we get into talking about last night's game and previewing the weekend?
Yeah, the cheating Astros, they win last night. They tie the series in the ALCS. They drubbed the Rangers 10-3, so that's now tied up. It looks like the cheating Astros, as I feared, are going to go on and win that series because they won 2 road games and absolutely annihilated the Rangers. The Diamondbacks rallied to beat the Phillies last night 2-1, so they now pull to within 2-1 in that best-of-7 series. Games 4 and 5 are scheduled Friday and Saturday, respectively. So Diamondbacks back in the series with the Phillies. Orlando City, the last regular season game at Toronto. They are locked in the 2nd seed for the playoffs. The playoffs will begin next week, so Orlando City don't really need to win this game or even get a result. They are set for the playoffs. NASCAR's in the Homestead down in South Florida. We're winding down. Even though my man Kyle Larson's already in the Final Four, he says he's not going to back down. He still wants to win this race. So watch out for Kyle Larson yet again down in Homestead.
Lightning got a win last night, dog.
What, the Lightning?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They beat Vancouver. The finals 4-3. There you go, hockey fans. I try, you guys. I try.
How about my Jaguars last night getting it done, win their 4th straight game? Travis Etienne has become a beast. I think he scored 2 touchdowns in 3 straight games. The Jaguars win the game 31-24 over the Saints, although the Saints came back and made it close. They tied the game. Jags were up 24-9. Saints come storming back. They tied the game. Jaguars score again, and then the Saints had a chance to score again as well, except one of their receivers, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, who dropped the ball in the end zone, and the Saints couldn't score.
You hate when that happens.
I was telling Pat earlier, I was like, that
Foster
game...
Moreau.
Yes,
Foster Moreau's the guy who dropped the ball.
I was telling Pat that game early on. I watched. I mean, for the whole first half, I was like, "What a snooze fest!" With 3 field goals. Then watched it in the third quarter. It started finally picking up. Man, God.
Yeah. I was just talking about the cheating Astros before we get into the big games this weekend. What about the cheating Michigan Wolverines? Jim Harbaugh's in trouble again. I guess they've been illegally stealing signals, sort of like the cheating Astros did. They're sending, allegedly, the NCAA is investigating this. They're sending some ex-military guy out with all of his equipment. Yeah, to steal signs. You're not allowed to go scout teams in person, but Michigan's
He's in full
sending
camo in a tree somewhere.
Yeah.
Night vision.
Yeah. This guy's an ex-Marine. Yeah.
The way I look at it, as a coach, and if I was a coach, whatever you got to do for the win, man.
Well, except if you get caught, You getting big trouble.
Consequences. I get that, but until you do, get the W.
Steroids.
By the way,
Yeah.
speaking of coaches, a cheap plug here. Billy Napier will be on our show at 8:45 a.m. this morning, and Gus Malzahn at 8:30 this morning.
Nice. That's over on AM 740 and FM 96.9 a game. That's a big score, dog.
Yeah, good interviews.
Right. We got back-to-back head coaches. NFL games this weekend. Jaguars have already played, obviously. Atlanta's at Tampa Bay. Bucks are favored by 2.5. They need to win that game, and their offense needs to get cranked up because they can't run the ball, and Baker Mayfield needs to play a little bit better. So they should win that game, though. What's the other game? Dolphins at the Eagles
Sunday
on
night. Yeah.
How good's that gonna be? Huh?
Game.
Both teams are 5-1. You got Jalen Hurts versus Tua. Tua, of course, won the starting job at Alabama. Jalen Hurts has to transfer to Oklahoma, so you got that storyline as well. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game, even though it's at Philly.
Really?
Philly
Me too.
lost last week.
What's the line? Like 2.5?
Line is Eagles favored by 2 last I
2.
saw.
Okay. All right.
I'm picking Finns too. For the record,
other
yesterday we had Jags, and somebody picked the Saints. Wasn't that was Bulldog,
That was
right?
the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bulldog picked the Saints.
All right,
And they
Pat, now
might
we're
won
right.
Yeah, I'm glad the Jags won. However, by the way, Lynch, your meatheads better watch out this weekend.
Yeah.
They play the Ravens, Detroit at Baltimore. Ravens are actually favored in that game, believe it or not.
That's one of the games I got circled for Sunday.
Yeah. Chargers at Kansas City. Even though the Chargers have a losing record, they're always dangerous. Those are the premier games. College, UCF at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by like 19.5. If UCF can just be competitive, that would be a win for them. I'm not big on moral victories, but UCF needs to get off the mat here after getting stomped by Kansas in that meltdown against Baylor 2 games ago. They need to get off the mat here and at least be competitive against Dylan Gabriel and the Oklahoma Sooners, who are ranked number 6 in the country. Duke, Florida State. Who would have ever thought that Duke would be Florida State, maybe be Florida State's toughest opponent of the year? Duke's ranked number 16 in the country. Their starting quarterback, Riley Leonard, may be back for this game. Duke is one possession away from being undefeated. Notre Dame beats Duke on the final possession of the game, and Duke is a good team. They have a really good defense, so watch out, Florida State, for that game.
You said they were one possession away from being undefeated. If they had a guy in camo up in a tree with optics,
Yes,
they'd be
right.
undefeated.
Hey, Dog,
Absolutely.
who you got? Penn State, Ohio State, high noon from the Horseshoe.
Well, Penn State. Penn State's a good team, but they can't win. They can't win in the Horseshoe. I like Ohio State.
I do want you to know, Bulldog, I am wearing my long sleeve Air Force football shirt right now. They'll be going at it against Navy at noon also.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Undefeated Air Force, AF. Mm-hmm. Right here.
Number 22 in the country. By the way, who you got? Clemson at Miami, the Hurricanes. I'm thinking the Canes are going to win that game.
They have to win that game to just save face at this point.
Well, if they don't win this game, it could get ugly for Mario Cristobal. Not that he's going to get fired or anything, but you know how those spoiled Miami fans are.
Oh, I do.
I'm not going to say anything.
All right, we'll focus more college football a little bit later on. Your partner in crime over there, Mark Daniels, will join us in the 9 o'clock hour as we huddle up and focus on college and preview the Knights game tomorrow at Oklahoma. Bulldog, I know you got a busy morning with those guests over there on AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game. Can you take us out with your Bulldog bark?
Oh, oh.
This is JRR.